Hello, I'm Jerry Scheidbach, pastor at Lighthouse Baptist Church in Santa Maria, California, and host for the radio podcast show called The Brain Massage. Let me get a little sip of my warm water to keep my coughing at bay. Easter's coming up. We're inviting all of our friends and neighbors to come join us. I was looking at our Easter card, our invitation card, this morning and noticed it kind of reminds me of Ireland. Not quite as dramatic, not quite as green as many of the pictures that I've seen. But thinking about St. Patrick's Day, happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you, and thinking about how St. Patrick, his story, a great missionary story, how he went to the island with this great message. Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel, which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein you stand, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep in memory that which I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. And they declared the gospel, for I have delivered unto you, first of all, that which I also have received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the Scriptures. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that Patrick took that message to the Emerald Isle, and from that Emerald Isle, we've had some mighty, wonderful preachers and scholars. In fact, the island is known as the island of saints and scholars, and appreciate Ireland. So happy St. Patrick's Day. I prepared some notes here, some excerpts from my radio show, my latest one, and I thought we'd share it with you on this video. I've always loved the Irish, and have admired the snake-conquering legend of Patrick. But I got to tell you, if the goose hissing and honking that I'm hearing from some, ostensibly, on the Emerald Isle, is indicative of the general sentiment of our friends in the land of saints and scholars, well, and I'm sure that's not the case, but bear with me a little bit. You know, Pence addresses a group of Irish visitors with an expression, top of the morning. And the Twitterverse, according to some, explodes with rants about nobody says that. And one guy described himself as having almost leaped out of his chair, yelling at the TV, nobody says that. I don't know what the sensitivity is there, but I know an Irish guy somewhere in his 80s here says it with some regularity. There's many Irish folk who settled here, use that expression, and they say it exactly like as if they're extending a little Irish expression, into our culture. And so, returning the greeting is, something like accepting or embracing some Irishness in our culture. Is that okay? And if the last generation in Ireland is using the expression, or even a generation or so back is using the expression, it isn't that ancient a saying. Perhaps it's gone out of fashion there in Ireland. I don't know. It is an Irishism, and we find it charming. Top of the morning to you, okay? And then the rest of the day to you, right? Isn't that how it goes? I'm not sure what all the fuss is about. If some of our Irish friends are sensitive to these, well, I would admit, stereotypical tip-of-the-hat gestures, I don't know, I guess we just lost touch on that point, and maybe we should apologize. I wasn't aware, and I'm sure Pitts wasn't aware, that there was this sensitivity to the issue. I have some listeners in Ireland, by the way. I'm not sure if any of them watch any of our videos, but if you are Irish here in America or on the Isle, and you have something you want to say about this, I'm sure interested in hearing it. So HuffPost posts an article showing tweets from folks in Ireland and some Irish people who are American citizens who are all aghast and whose nose is all bent out of shape because the head on Ryan's pint of Guinness, I guess that's how you say it, didn't have much head on it. Of course, Kate Middleton's didn't have much head on hers either. when she was pictured toasting Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. But in any event, they made a big deal out of it with Ryan's glass. All right. And then they put pictures alongside that with Obama holding a right pint, next to Ryan holding a flat pint. And with these little digs, like, oh, here's a good one, fake bruise. Wow, yeah, I'm sure there was a conspiracy there. And that from someone who takes the moniker Naomi O'Reilly. Now, her name is O'Leary, but she dubs herself O'Reilly, despising Pence's top of the morning comment and Ryan's flat pint gesture as, get this, quote, grave missteps by the United States. Oh, really? Wow. Unlike Obama dissing the Prime Minister of Israel, leaving him to cool his heels for an hour after Obama abruptly left the meeting, or when Obama surreptitiously directed funds to an organization in Israel that was dedicated to unseat or to defeat Netanyahu's bid for prime minister there in their election, interfering with a sovereign nation's sacred elections. Or when, after Netanyahu beat Obama's efforts to undermine him and to defeat him in his election effort, and won the election anyway, in spite of Obama's efforts, Obama put off the obligatory state call to congratulate the head of state, and he put that off for something like 6 days after the election. That's unheard of. Now, these are purposed personal insults to a head of state and a lie. And by the way, we're only getting started here with this guy. I mean, his effrontery to the Queen of England. And then juxtapose that to his sycophant behavior, bowing deeply before the King of Saud. Hey, Naomi, oh, really? But Pence attempting an apparently out-of-fashion Irish greet, and Ryan attempting an Irish gesture of goodwill, albeit not perfectly. Attempting to express genuine hospitality to our Irish guests and Irish citizens. And these are grave missteps by the United States. Wow. And then following up on this tweet, she obliges us with a picture, as I mentioned earlier, of Obama holding up a pint with a full head with the tweet, quote, here's Obama's pint for comparison, one of the many areas he excelled in, end quote. Wow. Well, at least now we understand her motivation. And I'll admit, I think Obama was probably really good at drinking beer. Frankly, I'm pleased that Ryan does not show a lot of knowledge about the head on a pint of Guinness, okay? All right? But hey, Naomi O'Reilly, I think Obama was much more adept at, as an America as founded deconstructionist, trampling on the Constitution and all that. But I guess we all have our levels of concern about these things. Anyway, Naomi O'Reilly's tweets evidently opened up a thread and provoked some serious conversation among some Irish folks. So important, mind you, that HuffPost put out an article built around this tweet thread. One of them said, quote, Paul Ryan has brought shame upon our flag. Wow. I guess this is the best these guys can come up with. We must be doing pretty good. And that's from someone who dubs himself Southpaw. And his picture is of a little, I guess it's his little doggy or something. And then Tad Boomer quipped, it looks like tap water from Flint. Ooh, I hope these were liberally inclined people. It seemed, does he understand what he's saying here? I mean, that's quite offensive, I'm sure. Now that sounds like a genuine offense to our Irish friends, referring to their famed drink as looking like tap water from Flint. You don't know about Flint? Flint, Michigan. Do you remember the big brouhaha that was the big dust-up that went over there concerning the Democrat-controlled Flint, Michigan lead-poisoned water debacle. So, I don't know about that. I don't know if this guy's a Republican in dim drag or if he's a Democrat in Republican drag. I'm not sure what's going on there. In any event, let's see if I can find another one here. Oh, yeah, here's one. Ms. Everson looks at the picture of Ryan holding the pint of Guinness, and she says, he's holding it like a woman's health issue. I don't even understand what in the world holding it like a woman's health issue. I don't know what to say about some of those. Anyway, I'm not going to read all of these. There are only about 19 of them. But really, give me a break here. One tweeted that the pint looked like it had been pulled an hour or so earlier, and so the head dissipated by the time Ryan picked it up. That's probably what happened. Apparently, this is very serious stuff. This is very important. Naomi O'Reilly got about 18 people to join her in commenting on this effrontery to the sensitivities of our Irish neighbors. Wow. You know, it must mean that all of Ireland is in an uproar over this. At least HuffPost seems to think so, or maybe more likely wants us to think so. The headline of the article was this, ready? Quote, Twitter drags Paul over his awful pint of Guinness. Really? Really? That was the title of this article. So Huffington Post, thanks Rush, drags the dregs of the Twitterverse and finds exactly one thread consisting of a total of 20 posts that means Twitter is abuzz over this. Really? We are doing really, really well if this is all these guys can come up with. Friends, don't believe it. Our Irish brothers and sisters are not so thin-skinned as the left here wants you to believe. Obama was such a disaster in the way he handled and treated our allies. I can only suppose these guys are doing whatever they can to find some way they can kind of balance the scales between Trump and Obama. It's unbelievable. Trying to make it out like Trump's team is bungling our foreign relations in a way not even close to what Obama did. Good night. Did Trump quote a Nigerian poet thinking that it was an Irish proverb? I mean, I don't. First, he didn't introduce it as an Irish proverb. I'm just saying. And second, if that was his intent, and I'd have to say the context would suggest it might have been, I'll take that misstep any day over, well, let's just pick a couple here. How about forgetting the national motto when he's representing America overseas? Or how about repeatedly failing on more than one occasion, repeatedly is the operative word here, to quote the Declaration of Independence correctly? I mean, does anyone not know the import of the Declaration of Independence to this country? Unbelievable. All right, so I thought since it was St. Patrick's Day, I should try to send a shout out that would somehow maybe get above the noise of the likes of Huffy's Post. Don't be concerned, my dear Irish friends. We know there's much more to you than a pint of Guinness. And your ability to see past an innocent, wholly unintentional slight of anyone's sensitivities about Irish stereotypes. Really, forgive us. We love you, Ireland. And I know that I speak for millions of Americans. I certainly will not forget how Ireland stood up for us on and after 9/11. How you wept with us and reached out to comfort a deeply wounded nation. You know, whether Trump's proverb was written by an Irishman, which apparently was not, the sentiment expressed in that proverb was certainly written in my heart by an Irish tongue. when I watched the Emerald Isle stand up for us on and after 9/11. What a perfect proverb, well chosen in my view, to describe my own sentiments toward Ireland. Indeed, we must remember to forget those friends who have proved untrue, and never forget to remember those that have stayed true. Songwriters Brendan Graham and William Joseph Schwartz wrote a song that's sung by Celtic woman and perhaps others, and it really moves me every time I hear it. And the lyrics, some of them go like this: "Oh America," and it's sung by an Irish group, okay, a Celtic group. "Oh America, you are calling. I can hear you calling me. You are calling me to be true to thee I will be. Oh America, no weeping, let me heal your wounded heart. I will keep you in my keeping till there be a new start. And I will answer you, and I will take your hand and lead you to the sun, and I will stand by you, do all that I can do, and we will be as one. Oh America, I hear you from your prairies to the sea, from your mountains grand, and all through this land you are beautiful to me." And it goes on and concludes, and it's a very heartwarming song. So, all my Irish friends here in America, don't take offense at the well-meaning, if somewhat out of fashion, gesture of pence. And let me conclude by saying, top of the morning to you.